So you mentioned CMS, so I've got to go there. I'm curious of the audience. How many people in the audience love their content management system? Love it. I mean, it's such a pain point inside organizations, and especially inside EDU, getting this technology to work. We actually, short plug, we publish a blog on content management called the CMS Myth that purely looks at that disconnect between what is supposed to happen and what actually happens, and then all the pain in between. It's a really happy blog. You should check it out. But I'm curious from the perspective of CMS inside EDU, what, and anyone can answer this, but what have your experiences been, and how is it working for you? And if not, how are you trying to turn that around?
I mean, just to speak for us, last year we went through a redesign of Emerson.edu, but we also moved into a new CMS, moved into Drupal. Before that we were using a Common Spot product. I think it's one of those things where, so I work within enrollment, but I'm sort of the web tech guy within enrollment, and I work closely with our web services office, which is under marketing communications. So the two of us work closely together, which is typically admission kind of goes in their own realm, and then marketing tries to reel them in and says, no, don't do that, do this. But I think with the CMS, there's a good relationship between the two of us because we create and change a lot of content. We work with the academic programs, the department pages, faculty sites, that kind of stuff to say, why don't you show off this? Or, hey, we're doing a campaign to show this off. Is there content you have around these items? So I'm comfortable using it. I know our web services team is always up for trying different plugins or using different tools to say, how do we achieve this? But it's important to immediately give the baseline to say, this is, under this is not what we're going to put on the site. So, poor quality videos, poor quality writing, anything like that. A welcome letter from the graduate program director as the homepage of the department site is not going to fly. But also giving a top tier to say, don't worry so much. And I love your point about design and saying, design is going to be the design. We know what we're doing when it comes to that. You worry about your content. So I think educating your audience to say, you don't need everything to be a different color and this text to be bold and this to be pushed up in the top right. Just worry about your content first, and we'll worry about that, how it interacts within the CMS.
I think finding a CMS suffers from a lot of the same mythology as finding a spouse, right? We're talking really well. There's one out there for you, and it's the one. Statistically speaking, there are probably about 40 or 50 out there for you. They can make any one of those work. So when I redid the cassette in WordPress, everyone said, how did you know? As if I found, the ultimate CMS blogging system. It isn't. It's a pretty good one. There was a pretty good case to be made for Drupal. There's a pretty good case to be made for some, other solutions we have on the table. But I think the key is to put your business goals first when evaluating CMS. What's going to meet most of your business goals? We have a Drupal WordPress checklist we give to people. We have a lot of different very tactical tools we give to people. But again, we try to elevate the discussion and say, what do you absolutely need this system to do? What can you live with? What are your resources to maintain it? And I'll say that twice. What are your resources to maintain it? Because the day of the Big Bang launch with no maintenance budget is certainly over. But I do think it does suffer from a lot of that mythology. There's the right CMS out for you somewhere. If you just find that, all this pain around the internet will go away. And we all know that.